What's up, guys? It's Coach Grant with First Down Training, and today we're going to be breaking down 3 ways to run a dig route. So there are a lot of different ways that you can run a dig route, but today we're mainly going to be talking about how to run a dig versus inside leverage off man, head up off man, and then we're going to be talking about how you guys can run this dig route and get some separation with a square cut, okay? So I hope this video gives you guys some value, and I hope you learn a couple things about this route specifically. But also, fellas, we just developed a new product on my website. It's a 28-day wide receiver gym program 2.0. So if you guys already did the first wide receiver gym program, or you feel like you're on the more advanced size, this is a perfect program for you guys. So again, check out that very first link in the description. It's a 28-day plan with specific advanced exercises. The intensity is higher than our first workout program. The results come a lot quicker from our first workout program. So again, check out that very first link in the description for a wide receiver gym program 2.0. Hope we get you guys on that soon. Let's get started. So first things first, going to be looking at this route here. Inside shade guy, when we got to run a dig route, okay? So now, a dig can be ran a couple different ways. A lot of people, you could snap down into a dig. You could break off a speed cut. You could do a rocker step. You could do a square cut. There are a lot of different things. You just do one cut. Like some people call it a grown man plan. You could do a lot of those off of this dig route. So it kind of depends. What you got to be ready for anything, right? Because you walk into a program and they expect you to break down, you got to be able to break down. Walk into a program, they want one hard speed cut, very common in today's like air raid system. You got to be able to do that. So now, this inside shade DB, what do a lot of people teach when they're inside leverage? They teach attack leverage, right? Oh, I want to square him up. I want to angle my stem to the inside and square this dude up right now, right? But what if he keeps his leverage to the inside, which is something that a lot of people struggle with? So I square him up. He keeps his leverage to the inside. Then I'm screwed. I'm going to be running right into him. So what you want to do is you either want to square him up initially, then work to this outside shoulder, or you want to go straight to his outside shoulder to hopefully force a hip turn. So what this receiver does a great job of is going to that outside shoulder, gives this little tempo change, like he's going to be doing a little skip and then push up vertical, and he gives him this rocker step. You see how he goes to the outside and he throws, and he really throws that upper half to the outside to sell like he's just coming up at him, change that tempo, then I'm going to burst up to this fade, right? So it's really important that when you got an off man, inside shade DB, that you attack that outside shoulder and you give him some kind of a move. You give him a move to either think that you're running an out route. Because again, this DB, when he's inside shade, what is he giving up? He's giving up a lot of speed to the outside, or a lot of space to the outside, right? So if I could threaten him to the outside and threaten him vertical at the same time with my pad level, with the suddenness of my cut, that's what moves him off that platform, and then I can run this dig right back underneath him. So it's real important. Again, we come off nice and patient. I throw my upper half to the outside, really be sudden with those cuts. Throw your upper half. That's what gets me some space. Now, what do we know this DB is going to do, especially on any kind of dig route against man coverage? We know that he's going to be speed turning. We know he's going to be trying to get out of this fast because he's in what? He's in that, oh shit, I got beat. I got to try to make a play on this thing. So I got to keep driving my arms, keep running my feet, and continue to widen the distance with this guy. That's a great route right there. Attacking him, attack that outside shoulder. Cannot stress that enough. You guys got an inside leverage, off man DB. Got to run a dig, even a post, any kind of inside breaking route. You want to try to attack his outside shoulder, get him to turn those hips so I can slip back underneath. You could either go straight there like this. You could change up tempo like this example. You could go straight there fast. You could attack him and square him up first to maybe move him, then push to the outside shoulder to really get him to overcommit. There are a lot of different things you could do, but the end goal should be to get him to turn those hips so I could slip back underneath. Let's watch it again, full speed. Great job coming off, being patient. Throw that rocker step, then flatten this thing off and run a dig. Great route, okay? So now we got a head up DB. So what do I need to do if this DB, so let's watch this full speed. Now this is a perfect situation where what if my dig is at 10 yards? And he's like off man at like 6 yards. Do I break this thing off at 6 yards? Do I try to run around him? Do I keep pushing up to the depth? What are you supposed to do? That's what we're going to be focusing on this. So let's watch this example. KJO gives a move, pushes up to the depth, then he breaks it off. And again, you see it's a grown man plant right there. It's just a single one hard speed cut at the depth of this route. So that is what you got to focus on. And I get this question a lot, and that's why I focus on this. And some people might know this. Some people might be like, well, that's common sense, dude. But I get a lot of questions about this. It's like, hey, if I'm an off man, when should I break off my route? The quarterback expects you to be at a certain spot. He expects you to be at that landmark, especially in air raid systems, spread systems. It's all about, are you in the spot when I need you to be at the spot? And if you can't get there, we'll find somebody else who can get there, right? So you got to make sure that you always get up to the depth of the route. You don't cut it short. I'd rather have you be too deep than too short, but obviously I'd rather have you be right at the break point, right? So now this guy comes up and he tries to close the distance, and your depth is here and he's right here, and you got like 5 more yards to go. You don't want to panic. You still still want to square this guy up. You still want to give him this move to try to freeze him. Sell like you're going back to the outside and then get back up to the inside release. Now, you could do the same thing. Like, let's say he walks down and he closes it off and he's inside shade. Maybe you want to be here, give him a move to the inside, push up vertical to the outside, just like what we were doing to force that hip turn. And then I slip right back underneath him. But you got to always make sure that you push up to the depth of the route. So we come off the line of scrimmage here. It looks like pre-snap he's going to be maybe like 10 yards off, right? So, okay, fine. I'm going to square him up. I'm going to attack his outside shoulder, get him to turn his hips and slip back underneath, just like what we were working on in that first clip, right? So now I come off the line of scrimmage here. He walks down. I still want to give him that move, and I still want to take the inside shade. If he's giving me the inside shade, that's fine. Let's take the inside release, constantly fighting those hands, and let's push up to the depth of my route so I can make this break. And you see, he still works to restack the best he can. Gives that little head fake at the top of the route. Gets that DB sitting to the outside, and now, especially when he's chasing me, doesn't have hands. If I accelerate out of this break, I get to the spot of the throw, I'm going to be able to widen the distance with this guy. So that's a great job by KJ Hill working this. Is a common question I get asked. What if he walks down? What if he's about 6 yards off? My dig's at 10 to 12. That's what we got to focus on. Let's watch this thing again, full speed one more time. So he's coming off here, attacks him, gives him that cut, pushes up vertical, breaks this thing off, and accelerates back over the middle. So now we're going to be looking at this square cut here, okay? So when do you want to use a square cut? So let's watch it again. I know that happens fast. So you see how Hamler here, 1, 2, 3, 4, and gets this DB to fall. Now, what this is most likely like, you see how this DB is kind of off coverage. You guys can work this speed cut, or not speed cut, square cut when you got either an off man situation, so like that off man situation that we were talking about in the first clip, or in the second, well, not so much the second clip because he walks down, but the first clip where he's kind of bailing, he's sitting at 10 to 12, you attack him, he's kind of backpedaling out of there, keeping his leverage. This is something that you guys can work. Now, you could also work this square cut when you got maybe a catch technique DB, man coverage DB, and you're pushing up and he's kind of on your hip, or you work to restack. Okay, we're going to talk about the technique of a square cut and what exactly is a square cut. Now, the thing about this square cut is, let's break it down what Hamler does here. He snaps, so he's snapping to the direction that he's going, right? So you want to snap down with the foot to the side that you're going. So if I'm running a dig, I want to snap down with my inside foot because it's going to be like, let's say I'm on the left side like Hamler. The steps of this dig is going to be right, left, right, left. Okay, so it's 4 steps. So I call it a square cut. 1, 2, 3, 4, right? So it's snap 1, 2, throw 3, 4. Now, some other people call it square cut. They have different terminology. This is just the terminology that I use, but this is what I consider a square cut. Some people might say a different thing. You might have a coach who considers a square cut a 2-step break. I've seen coaches do that, and the terminology can all vary kind of depending on system, but this is what I refer to as a square cut, right? If you don't want to think of it as a square cut, think of it as another way to break down, okay? So now, when I snap down, the thing about this is I'm trying to draw this DB in. That's why I like this against off man. Against zone, not a big fan of this, simply because that guy's not looking at you anyways, especially if you're on the outside. Now, let's take a step back here. This is a 4-step break, and there's got to be some tempo to it. You see how he kind of goes 1, 2, 3, 4, and there's tempo. He's not trying to get out of this as fast as possible. He's trying to break down, trying to alert the DB. Then I want to sell like I'm going back to the outside, running an out route off of a 3-step break. So it takes a little bit longer. So this is probably not a first read situation that I'm doing. That route that we just looked at with Hill and that route we just looked at before, where he was attacking that off man inside shade, those are all kind of first read situations, right? Those are all where that quarterback space should be at that spot. He's looking to you, then he's looking down. But maybe if you're the second or third read, like the quarterback's going from 1 back to you, or from 1 to 2, then back to you, that's when I would want to use a square cut because it's a longer developing move, right? So we want to make sure that we're out of this efficiently, but also we have good tempo to it, right? So now the first 2 steps, you see how when he comes up into this thing and he goes 1, 2, what that does is that's that violent hip drop, right? So that hip drop is what alerts the DB, because where's that DB supposed to be looking? An off-man, man coverage. He's supposed to be looking at your hips. So especially if he's an off-man, or hell, even if it's a too high safety look, you're coming out of the slot. And let's say the quarterbacks, let's say you're on the left side. Let's say it's too high safety. That safety is at about 8 yards. That's still zone coverage, but it turns into man coverage with that guy for you. But without getting too technical with all the coverages and stuff like that, just think about it simply, right? Too high safety, you see that guy, he's head up over you, that linebacker's maybe inside shade. Let's push vertical and attack that safety. And let's say maybe the quarterback's going from right to left. Let's say he's going from 1 to 2, back to you, backside on the 3. I'm attacking that safety. And now what I want to do with this initial 1, 2 right here is that I snap down, I drop my hips because that's where the safety safety's going to be looking. He's alert. He's sitting on that thing. He's thinking, oh shit, a break's going to be coming, because when a DB sees your hips drop, that's when he thinks a break will be coming. And then what do? I give him a little 3-4. I snap 1-2, so I go 1-2, 3-4. I give him a little shake with my upper half, sell like I'm going to the out route. So that's what you want to be selling when you're running a dig. When you have a square cut, you want to go 1-2, 3-4. And on the fourth step, you want to throw your upper half to the outside, get this guy to slip, get this guy to settle. And then what do? I accelerate out. I want to freeze him with the 1-2, leave him with the second 1-2, and then I'm out of this break. So this is a great way you guys can get separation, especially when you're backside of a play, or when you're backside of the play, or even front side when it's off man, but you're the second read. Okay, so let's watch this thing again full speed one more time. That's the third way that you could run a dig, especially against this type of a DB where he's in this off man coverage. So 1-2, 3-4, freeze him, and then leave him. All right, guys, I really want to thank you for watching. I really appreciate it. If you guys have any questions at all, leave those in the comments below. I'll get back to you as soon as possible. And also, you guys, if you have any questions about the gym program, leave those below. But if you also want to see more information on our 28-day gym program 2.0, more advanced exercise, higher intensity, higher reps, stuff to make you a little bit stronger, faster, better wide receiver overall, check out that very first link in the description. Hope we get you guys on that soon. I'll see you guys next time.